Hello, everybody. It is, again, March the 8th, 2020. This is Wrestleview Live, episode 73? 74? Something like that. Well, the guests that are going to be on the show are going to know the numbers, so don't worry about that. Hello, I am Doug Lackey, veteran columnist of Wrestleview.com, the host of Wrestleview Weekly that you can catch every Sunday afternoon on this very channel on the YouTubes, and here to cover immediately right now the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view that just finished up about roughly a little under a half hour ago. Out of Philadelphia, PA, where all those weirdos live in Philly that give the weirdest of reactions to every single thing you can imagine under the sun. You probably disagree with everything that they say, but they're from Philadelphia, and they're always angry because they're in Philadelphia. So what are you going to do? Yes, we're going to recap Elimination Chamber, but first off, I'm going to introduce my co-host. He recapped Elimination Chamber on the Wrestleview website. He also recaps SmackDown every Friday. That guy is Mr. Roy Nemer, the brother of Dark Overlord Paul Nemer. Roy, how are you?
I like the introduction, the brother of the Dark Overlord. I'm good, Doug. Thank you for having me. Doing good. The more handsome of the Nemer family.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. The more handsome, the taller. Are you darker?
I am darker. I'm much darker than Paul. I know it doesn't show right now on the webcam. Paul picks up from my mom, who's not as dark or not as tanned. I pick up from my dad, who's more tan.
Right,
so,
the taller. Yeah, so what we're trying to say here is, since you're from the dad's side, you are taller, darker, and handsome, and because Paul went from his mom's side, he's uglier? Is that what you're trying to say?
Don't
oh,
it's a Brett and Owen thing, all right? The younger brother, Owen Roy, is the more technically gifted athlete / person.
There's some really horrible jokes that I could make right now, but I have already made horrible ones, so I can't go any further than that. First off, before I get you to give us a quick rundown of the show, I've got to do this thing because I always have to recognize everyone in the chat room, so brace your ear holes. If you're in the chat room now, you say wee! If you're not in the chat room, there's not a goddamn thing I can do about that. I see Initiator. I see Nafis. Who else is in that chat room? You better let me know right now, or else the Dark Overlord's mother won't love you. Who else is in there? Come on. Let him know. Lewis, not Sweet Lou, but Lewis is in there. Whee! Who else is in there? I see Ashley. I see, come on, other people. I'm giving you 5, 4. Jamel says, whee! Daniel, there's Scotty. Who else? There you are. Okay, that's enough of that. All right. Got our pleasantries out of the way. Roy, could you give us a quick rundown of what in the heck happened in the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view thing?
Yes, so there were matches.
Yes.
In Philadelphia.
Yes, they were.
Yes. So we kicked off the show with Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak. Fantastic match. Absolutely loved it. We'll get into it later on. But Daniel Bryan picked up the win there. And then we moved on to another great match, second match of the night, for the United States title. So Andrade defended his United States Championship against Humberto Carrillo, and that was another solid match, and Andrade gets the win once more. Then we moved to the third match, which was the first of 2 Elimination Chamber matches for the tag team titles, the SmackDown tag team titles. Absolutely ridiculous match. Had a lot of fun recapping that one. And it was The Miz and John Morrison retaining their titles against the 5 other teams. And that was a fun one as well. Up next, we had a no disqualification match. AJ Styles against Aleister Black. Return of The Undertaker. Aleister Black gets the win. Very, very fun match. Up next was the other tag team match on the show, which was the Street Profits defending their Raw tag team titles against Seth Rollins and no longer Buddy Murphy, but just Murphy. Street Profits retain with some help from Kevin Owens. Up next, we had a 3-on-1 handicap match. Braun Strowman defending his Intercontinental Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn, and Cesaro. Sami Zayn gets the win and is your new Intercontinental Champion and the only title that changed hands on the show, actually. And finally, we had the lovely main event, and I say that with extreme sarcasm. Shayna Baszler winning the Women's Elimination Chamber match, and she'll face Becky Lynch. She'll face Rebecca Lynch at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's title.
Ah, very good. So many opinions. I know that you and I would like to give on this, but the very first opinion that we need to give is on Skype with us live inside their motorized vehicle, leaving the arena from Philadelphia, the site of Elimination Chamber, after being surrounded by horrible people and leaving that horrible city, is two people who are not horrible at all. That is Mike and Victoria Tedesco. Mike and Victoria, how are you all doing?
Hey. Hello.
Hello.
We survived our time with the humanoids, Doug.
Another Philly trip.
Now you say another Philly trip. Now, how many of these events have you attended in Philadelphia?
This is our fourth, or fifth event.
Fifth event.
Yeah, because we went to the two Royal Rumbles that were here, 2015 and 2018. Right? I think it was. Money in the Bank 2013 was our first time coming out here.
Yes.
I think, right?
Yeah, and then there was some
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules,
and then
now
this
tonight.
one. Yeah.
So 5 times.
So this is not your first barbecue going to this arena, this venue for a WWE event. Okay.
No, and this the arena is on the way to Chop anyway, so like we've been friggin' passing this place multiple times this year. It's like I've seen enough of the Wells Fargo arena, I'll tell you.
Now, kind of give me a vibe here, like, because before we came on the air, you guys were immediately lambasting the time that you had. You enjoyed the show, but the people, that's a completely different story. So, and we kind of saw this throughout the show, especially during the main event where we saw the CM Punk chants line up. Everyone is, the villagers are getting restless. You know, take me through this event that you were at with these kind of people. Help me out here.
Honestly, so basically the rundown is that, like I was saying to Doug before, everyone was like a bitter Betty, like hashtag bitter Betties.
Wow.
Like nobody reacted the way that a good majority of people reacted the way Mike and I reacted to things, which was very positive and very eventful and but the main event itself, it was like, the whole show, it's like everyone was pretty good, but then you have the CM Punk chants, like you said, and then people were just super disgusting the way they were talking about the women. I can't even repeat half the things that they were saying about them. It's like Mike and I we thought it was a very good storytelling match. Like, it definitely gave a lot of heat to Shayna Baszler and stuff, but we didn't enjoy it necessarily. It wasn't our favorite match of the night by any means.
It was not designed to be enjoyed.
No. It was
No.
exactly. But, we still had an overall great time, but it was just like automatically these people were just so bitter.
Right. But for the most part, everybody enjoyed the show up until the main event. Like when Undertaker came out, the place was just a madhouse.
Right.
Kevin Owens came out. He came right in our section, walked right by me. We were right there for the whole entire thing. People were losing their minds. Even though I heard a lot of comments saying that the tag match, the Raw Tag Team title match, was quiet. It's because Victoria couldn't. She went to the bathroom, couldn't get back in there. She texted me and said, "Kevin Owens is coming down. I saw him. He's in our in the entranceway for our section." And then, so I tried to go up there and say, "Oh, I need to go to the bathroom." They wouldn't let me out.
Nope.
And then I came out and I said to this kid that was in our section, I go, "Why don't you move to the end because Kevin Owens is coming down?"
There you
then
go.
That started spreading. We had two sections of people just with their backs to the ring, waiting for Kevin Owens to come out. It was kind of our fault.
Yeah, it was our fault.
Well, you're being the intrepid journalists that you are. I mean, this is no shock. Okay. So
it's actually funny that we always wind up in these situations where it's like, okay, this guy's coming out over here. Like at Extreme Rules, it was Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley doing the spot off the barricade, right in front of us. Like we always seem to be right where we need to be at the right time.
I almost knocked over a security guard accidentally. I was actually walking, and he was like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "To my seat. I'm sorry." He's like, "You're not going anywhere." I'm like, okay.
Let me. The other thing I guess I really wonder is, like, you mentioned you had a kid in your aisle, and you get him over to the end so he can see Owens coming down. I mean, that's awesome. That's number one thing you got to do is let the kids have more fun than you are.
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Totally. Especially being a new dad, I just think about the kids' experience now.
Oh yeah. I guess my other question too is, and I've always been fascinated, and many people are fascinated by this venue, this city, when it comes to wrestling and the crowds and everything. Is there are never really not a lot of families at these crowds, are there? There's not really a lot of children. We're talking 30-something adult males everywhere with their angry girlfriends at their sides, right?
I would say
it used to be. We had a lot of families in our section.
Our section was very family, but if you look at the opposite end, like the other side of the arena, definitely not. They were a whole bunch of
drunks.
Yeah,
it was like,
exactly.
I mean, that's fine. Enjoy yourself. Have some libations by all means. But it's like they were just getting gross after a while. It was like, Philly is like a town that's notorious for whatever reason. And I've been to, Lincoln Financial Field, I've been to the Philly Citizens Bank Park. I've hit all three areas here. They do not do well with cutoff times. It's like everybody seems to be drinking until the bitter end. Or like they call last call, and it's like, okay, give me 3 beers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, come on. But it's like, but it always makes for a mess.
Oh man, we
were in a small little parking lot, and this guy was trying to back out. These guys were standing right in front of him, so he starts inching up on them. This guy's ankles were under his car. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was great though. I loved it. I was really hoping for somebody to get run over, but that's right. Liliana is a resident of Philadelphia because she was born here.
So now she's gonna be in Philly.
I really like how you guys set the bar when you go to a wrestling show. Because some of us hope to see like the high spot, or we hope that someone appears, but no, we need to see someone run over by a car.
Yes.
Now we know that we've had a great time at a wrestling event. Chalk it up to the Tedescos, everyone. You're not having fun until someone is totally maimed. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for calling in. We got the pictures up all over the Twitter feed of you guys over at the show.
I do want to share a quick story though about Elimination Chamber.
Oh yes.
This is probably like my 60th WWE show that I've been to in my life, and I have been dying to see the Elimination Chamber since the match type was announced in 2002. I was supposed to go to Survivor Series 2002. When I started, I've been doing these retro WrestleMania recaps over the past couple weeks, and I saw a really, really cool comment on one of the recaps that said, I remember watching, I'm paraphrasing, but it said, I remember watching this WrestleMania with my family, and like every time I think about this WrestleMania, I think about them. And I'm like, at the end of the day, that's really what this is like all about. Those shared experiences that you have with, other family members. Like I remember when Bobby Heenan died, and he wrote that great thing about getting closer with your father, him introducing you to Bobby Heenan and kind of like wrestling in general. And like, I think most of us have those shared experiences of like a family member that, introduced us to wrestling or showed or told us about some character that they liked when they were younger and stuff like that. And it's a shared experience. I had a shared experience with my grandfather, with wrestling. When we did the backyard wrestling, he would sometimes get involved, come out with some cardboard boxes so we could just slam each other on them and stuff like that. I was supposed to go to Survivor Series 2002 to see the Elimination Chamber, the first one ever where Shawn Michaels won the title. And that weekend, my grandfather was supposed to take me. He passed away that weekend. And so like all these years, like I didn't get to see it, and it was such a bummer. And, you know, like I always think of him whenever I see the Elimination Chamber, because that was supposed to be our match. We were supposed to go see that match. So to see it tonight, it reminds me of like all those shared experiences. Kind of reminds me why I love wrestling. It was just a really, really cool moment. It was cool to be there. I didn't care if both chambers sucked. Just seeing the match, and it kind of just made me feel like my grandfather was there tonight. It was really a special moment, you know. So it's like everybody's like, "Oh, it's a throwaway pay-per-view. It's a throwaway pay-per-view." It's like, well, you know what? Like, not for everybody.
No,
you know, so
no.
So for some people, this might be the only pay-per-view that they ever attend live, and like it could be like the greatest experience that they ever had. You know, it's like
the kid in front of us was like, "This is the best day of my life."
Yeah.
I mean, that was like the sweetest little thing that he could have, you know, said.
And I look forward to like bringing Liliana to the two shows, like when she gets older and stuff like that. When the coronavirus has finally not killed everybody, you know, it's gonna be great. So that's my little story. I just wanted to share that and throw that on the podcast tonight. It was a great show. It meant a lot to me just to be there tonight, and it just so happened that the tag match was one of the best chamber matches I think I've ever seen. So pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. That, and I know one thing that we are definitely looking forward to in the future is not only Mike and Victoria have infiltrated the WWE's video package space with their excited faces every goddamn time at WrestleMania. Soon we're going to have Liliana's soul-crushing smile in those same video packages. Seriously, that's what she has. Lily has a soul-crushing smile. Okay. Yes, that is a compliment. It's not an insult at all.
She's a little sweetheart. She's a good kid. She's getting teeth now, which is crazy.
Oh, but God, it's going to get worse. Oh, it's
I know. I was in the video package tonight, though, for the WWE Network. I couldn't believe it. I was like, let's watch and see if I make it. And then I was there. I couldn't believe it. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
All right, that's enough, you braggart. All right, that's enough. We got to kick you off the show now.
Thanks, Doug. Thanks,
no,
Doug.
that's Mike.
Thanks, guys.
Mike and Victoria Tedesco. Catch them tomorrow night, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Tomorrow night, right here, immediately following Raw. They're going to recap it. Don't know if Liliana's going to show up. They've been trying to get her to bed early, but if she does, your soul will be crushed forever. You will need to call in sick the next day. Blame them. So, thanks, guys. Have safe travel home.
Thanks, Doug. Talk to you later. Bye, Roy.
Bye, guys. Have a safe trip.
Thanks.
All right. So, enough happy talk. No, I'm sorry. No, I don't mean that. No. So I've really always been fascinated by Philadelphia and the venue itself, and I really wanted to get those kind of questions answered just because you're over in Canada, you're over in Montreal. I mean, you have a fun crowd, you know, but you also get the Cheeto Munchers. You know, you get the do chuggers, you get those that are angry at life, right?
We get everything over here. We get the drunks, we get the marks, we get the random, we call them Quebecers, the Quebecers that don't speak a word of English and will just yell anything out in French and like insults in French. And then obviously when you have a Canadian guy that comes out, everyone goes crazy. So it's a fun crowd. Montreal's a really, really fun crowd.
And I've always been fascinated by those because here I am in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is, fundamental wrestling town. Okay,
of course.
We're full of families. There's going to be some marks. There's, of course, going to be some drunk people. They are not going to be obnoxious, though. But we enjoy our wrestling. We know what to cheer. We don't chant for CM Punk. We are not chanting for every goddamn thing that looks amazing. Everything is not awesome with us. Okay, I'm just putting it that way. And so I've always been fascinated by the Canadian cities, Philadelphia, Chicago, Boston, all of those, to where the crowds are just so into themselves that they can't help themselves but try to be a part of the show, And I feel like that's what we got a chunk of here, but not as obnoxious as what it used to be, is what it seems like.
It used to be worse, like especially a couple of years ago, and especially Philly. You guys mentioned CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
I did not hear any CM Punk chants tonight. Maybe it's because I wasn't as focused, listening because I was covering it, I was recapping it. But generally, I thought the crowd was pretty good tonight. It cheered when they were supposed to cheer. We had a couple of "This is awesome" chants, which thankfully have died down recently. Because at one point you had a "This is awesome" chant on like a fucking suplex.
Yeah.
But no, today it was well timed. It was fun. It was just dead for the main event, which is understandable, and we're going to get into that later. But I thought generally speaking today was good. It was a good crowd. They've been on a roll, minus the as you call it, South Dakota. But they were I think in New York or something, east side, northeast recently, and it was a good crowd. Good crowd for Raw and SmackDown. So tonight was no different, thankfully.
As always with these recap shows, every single pay-per-view recap show bitches about something. They always bitch about what's bad about the show, how something was supposed to happen, how something they predicted didn't happen. I am not going to talk about my predictions right now. Now is not the time for negativity. So now is the time for positivity. And when we always start this show, we always lead off with what is one positive thing, at least, that you enjoyed from this show. I want you to kick it off. I've got a feeling I know what it is, and that's okay.
One positive thing. I actually have a lot.
Okay, well, like the biggest positive thing, like if they're like your favorite match, your favorite spot, take your pick.
I'm a diehard Undertaker fan.
Sure.
Diehard. I'm 29. I'm born in 1990. So right when he debuted, I was born. So I kind of grew up with the Undertaker.
Yeah.
And I called it right before the match. I tweeted it out. I said, will the Undertaker show up tonight and interfere with AJ Styles? Thankfully, I was right. I really enjoyed it. I love the Undertaker. Like I said, that was a very, very high spot. One thing for me personally, though, and so I'm going to separate it. This is something that I loved, but something that I loved while covering was I thought it was going to be hell to cover that tag team elimination chamber match.
Oh,
I thought it was going to be hell. It wasn't. It really wasn't. And it just made it that much more entertaining, that much more fun. We had a lot of spots in that match from Dorado flying up from the top, from Otis the bump going through the chamber, from freaking Tucker doing a somersault off the top of the pod. It was just fun. It was a fun match, very, very fun match. Albeit I kind of predicted the ending, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But I just loved it. Everyone put in an effort. Everyone got something memorable. The Lucha House Party weren't just there to die and make someone else look good. They, granted, yes, they had some bumps, but they looked good as well. They shined. And that was probably the biggest thing for me was I just loved covering that match. And for me, I thought it was the match on the card that I was dreading the most. Not because it wouldn't be good, but because it would just be difficult to cover.
Oh, no. I mean, first off, I can completely relate and agree with you when it comes to covering the stuff for Wrestleview, okay? Just because I am a stickler for descriptives and being as accurate as I can be. After running an E-Fed when I was 13 years old and being a commissioner and naming all the moves, saying all the stuff that's happening, you don't know how many times I dread recapping NXT. NXT is, it's so tough, especially when it's a tag team match in NXT, just a regular. Not yet, and I'm fearing that. Okay, that is where I draw the line. I draw the line on AEW. I cannot cover AEW. I just can't. No. But I completely understand, your fright going into the Tag Team Elimination Chamber match. But it moved at a good enough pace. It was paced very, very well to where, you got your high spot, you got your breather, high spot, breather. There weren't finisher kickouts aplenty. There was, and do you want to say it was predictable? It could have been predictable. Not by some people who wager a tequila shot on it. Hey, how you doing? But no, it was a fun match. The only fault that I will give it was the setup for the Lindsay backflip drop from the roof. There was a time where Otis went in and out of the ring 2 times while staring at Lindsay off camera, trying to figure out what the hell he was supposed to be doing. Okay.
And he was yelling Lindsay too. In and out of the ring. He's like, Lindsay.
Yeah. So there was a lot of stuff that was trying to be coordinated on the outside that, but if that's the only fault that I can find and the big spot itself was not botched, I'm fine with that. Okay? Tucker going nuts after Otis went through the pod. More. I was right when Otis went through and the camera focused in on Tucker, I was like, oh, please give me the Tucker show for just 20 seconds. Because God love this guy, okay? He's been through hell. Through NXT, trying to find a tag team to be put with. He's been in this system for 7 to 8 years, okay? Teamed up with Otis, doing heavy machinery for the past 3 to 4 years. Here they are, and let's go ahead and face facts. It's been the Otis show. Tucker is nowhere to be found in this entire thing, and rightfully so. Okay, the program going on involving heavy machinery, he is the third wheel. Actually, he's a really massive spare tire in the back of this thing that no one is paying attention to. But God love it that they gave him at least 15 to 20 seconds where he saw his partner go through the pod, and he's pissed. Okay, God love him. They gave him the senton spot off of the top of the pod. Sure, he took the pinfall going, losing, so what? I'm just really digging this entire heavy machinery Ziggler Rude program going on right now with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville in with it as well, because it's right now, in my opinion, on SmackDown, the best program they have going on right now. With Bray Wyatt being going against the part-timer, you've got our champion. What is he doing? What is our champion? I don't know.
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns and Goldberg. They both weren't on TV last Friday. The women's division, we don't know what it is right now.
Don't get me freaking started on that.
Yeah, I mean, you just recapped it. I don't want you to relapse and everything, so I apologize. But I'm bringing it all up because right now, this heavy machinery Rude Ziggler program is the best thing that's going for that show right now. So I'm glad they saw that they gave Tucker that time to shine. If I want to give a positive from this show in any way, I was going into this with trepidation about the 3-on-1 handicap match. I was walking on eggshells with this thing because I was just going, don't tell me that Braun is just going to flatten all three of these guys. We cannot have them be crushed this easily. It can't be that. It's got to be something a little more than that. Are we going to see a swerve of some kind? Are we going to see Sami Zayn tossed around like Loki from the Hulk? Are we going to have something memorable in this match? I was not expecting Sami Zayn to walk away with the title, let alone they have him pin Braun after everything that we've seen Braun go through and do throughout his entire tenure on the main roster. You would never think that a double suplex with a kick in the mush would fell the big guy. But it did. I was pleasantly shocked, and a part of me is like, okay, wait a minute, I can't suspend my disbelief for so long. It's the Monster Among Men. How could they do this to him? Blah, 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 blah. But then I calmed down. I took a breath and just thought, if I'm getting Braun Strowman, Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, I'll take it. I will take this.
Yeah. No, and I agree. And to go back very, very briefly on what you just mentioned, in terms of, Braun getting double suplex and then getting a haluva kick, and then that's what knocks him down. That was literally my reaction. I thought the same thing. And then the first thing that clicked into my mind was Seth Rollins tweeting after the Super Showdown when he said, hey, had I known it would have taken 3-4 spears, that's all I would have done to beat Bray Wyatt. I don't know if you caught that tweet or not.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, so that's pretty much all it takes to beat Braun Strowman. But I was surprised, like you. I'm like, you know what? If it gives us Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman at WrestleMania, I'm in.
Yeah.
Ultimate squash match. I don't give a shit.
Oh, absolutely not. Oh,
I adore Strowman. Why the fuck not?
Oh gosh. On top of we've seen Strowman squashes at WrestleMania. He did it with a 10-year-old kid to win the tag team titles. Who did not love that? Okay, so we get to see Braun Strowman actually squash a 10-year-old child at WrestleMania this year. I'm totally for it. Oh my God, Doug, but Sami Zayn is such a great wrestler. He finally won a title by himself. He hasn't had a title in so long. And, well, okay. You can go ahead and you can have that. Yeah.
Did you, and I'm staying on topic.
Yeah.
But did you see the Broken Skull session thing, Austin with the Big Show?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
So you caught the part where Big Show was talking about how he spoke to Braun Strowman. He told him, look, you can't sell everything, and it's not every day that the other guy's going to win, and against him he can't win. And it's kind of, it's related in the sense of Braun Strowman against Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn cannot get any offense in. If they really want to properly continue to build up Braun Strowman, it has to be an absolute squash match.
Yes.
No,
they can't have Sammy can't get any offense in. You're going to have run-ins aplenty. If there is a way that Sammy does get over, we're talking a lot of run-ins aplenty to fell Strowman. So, yeah. But we're getting a squash match. I got to have a squash match.
I hope so.
God help me, I hope so. Okay. So, we talked about positives that we liked. Going to kind of run down, I guess we'll run down the card here. Was it the best move to have Drew Gulak, Daniel Bryan start off the show?
I thought about that, and I was 99% sure they'd go with
because number one, it was a fine match. It was a fine match, okay? I am not asking this question in any sense of the words putting down the match itself, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, was this the best match to start the show?
I think it was, because if they would have had it anywhere else on the show, it would have got lost in the shuffle.
Sure.
That's what I think. And I was predicting, like 99% sure in my head, I'm like, they're going to start the pay-per-view with the tag team elimination chamber match, because they usually do that, something to hype up the crowd. So when I saw Bryan and Gulak, I'm like, okay. And then at the end of the match, I'm like, fuck, I'm so happy this was first. I'm so happy this was first, because if this goes on after any other match, it's not going to get, I'm not going to say recognition, but it's not going to get the same reaction from the crowd as it should, or as it did.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy they went with that first.
Well, I mean, Ebony brought it up in the chat room that to have this as the opening match was a good choice, but this was the wrong show for it. Would this have been a really effective opening match if it were on a pay-per-view other than a gimmick pay-per-view like this one? Like, could you see this being as effective as it was, but it being the opening match for, say, Stomping Grounds? Or even taking it into the venue. I mean, if we were somewhere other than Philadelphia, would this match have gotten the legs that it got? I think a lot of it has to do with Gulak being in his hometown, But
no, that I agree. The fact that it was in Philly definitely helped. Plus, it's a wrestling crowd. It's a loud crowd. Would it have been as effective on a non-gimmick pay-per-view? Honestly, I don't think so. I think it helped that it was on a gimmick pay-per-view, because it stood out because gimmick pay-per-views, you're going to have like a no DQ match, a Money in the Bank, an Elimination Chamber, whatever the hell it is. Yeah. You're always going to have something. In this case, there were two gimmick matches. One was bad, and one was, ended up being okay. So it was the fact that, hey, we're starting off the pay-per-view. We're starting off a gimmick pay-per-view with a non-gimmick match.
Right.
Do you get what I mean? So it's kind of like, okay, so let's watch this. Let's see how it goes. Plus, it was the opening match, and it's a guy in his hometown, and it was a good match. It was a really, really good match. Mm-hmm. So I think everything played to their advantage. Everything played to their advantage. Because if this was on a non-gimmick pay-per-view, it probably would have been like, yeah, it was, it was a good match and, whatever. But I don't know. No, I just think it was good that it was on a gimmick pay-per-view and it went on first.
The only thing that I'm kind of... It was a great match and told a great story. I mean... For how many weeks that this was building, it had only been built for 3 weeks. This match itself,
correct, yeah.
Gulak being introduced as a guy who's a little OCD, and he's bringing Heath Slater into, hey, this is how you're supposed to beat Daniel Bryan. Hey, Curtis Axel, this is how you're supposed to beat Daniel Bryan. And so we have the build up. Drake Maverick coming out of nowhere wanting to have a match with Daniel Bryan. I don't get that. But this build up of the Gulak character to where he is an OCD, I don't want to say analytics or data-driven type of guy, to where he's getting in there with Daniel Bryan, who is, by all means, I would say with the background and memory that everyone has of Daniel Bryan, he's a pretty technical guy, okay? He gets in there, and he's going toe-to-toe with him and countering everything he's doing in the first 8 minutes of this match, and it's a rarity that we say this, and you'll never hear it on any other podcast, but Michael Cole shined in this match, telling the narrative of Drew Gulak in this match, and how him and Graves were just amazed at what was happening in this match. Daniel Bryan rolling out of the ring to take a breather, and you hear them both just go, what the heck's going on here? This doesn't happen. Why is Daniel Bryan doing this? Gulak has gotten in his head. And it just made for a really great storytelling match. It's just that I think the casual wrestling fan may not catch this. That's the only downside, is that it is a great match, great storytelling, great everything, but for the casual WWE fan, there's no high spot over the top rope type stuff. If you're there live in the crowd, you don't have the benefit of narrative with Cole and Graves to help you out. So I can understand why during this match there was a lot of silence in the crowd, and I can also understand with any of the casual fans watching how they may not be able to grasp it. I'm not saying they're stupid. I'm just saying that it's a little deep for a casual wrestling fan to catch.
I totally agree. It's a completely different... Wrestling has changed. Business has changed. Everything now is, like you said, it's a spot fest. If you don't have a crossbody in a match or a suicide dive, it's like,
right.
No one really gives a shit. And that I completely agree. And the announcers, Graves, Cole, helped tell the story.
Oh yeah.
And something that I'm lucky because, like I said, I'm 29, so I'm still relatively young as a wrestling fan.
You really need to stop talking about that. I'm really getting tired of you saying how old you are. Okay, I'm 40. Shut up.
listen here, Doug. Listen here, brother. No.
I don't give a damn. No. Get off my lawn.
No, but what I mean is, like, I'm lucky because of Paul. So Paul is older, right?
Right.
And I'm lucky that because of Paul, I grew up watching older style wrestling from the 80s, wrestling from early 90s. So
sure.
I grew up watching a shit ton of Bret Hart, like a horrible, like an insane amount of Bret Hart.
Sure.
I grew up watching Sting and Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Any like technical wrestlers or big guys that knew how to wrestle or whatever. So I'm used to the mat wrestling. I'm used to the technical wrestling, the actual wrestling itself, and I love it. I'm a big fan. So when it does happen, when on the rare chance that we do get it, especially in WWE, I'm like, fuck yeah, I enjoy the shit out of this.
Oh yeah.
But I'll talk to my friends who are my age or whatever that watch it, and I'm like, yeah, it was an okay match, because we're not from the same school.
Well, you're not cut from the same cloth, and also at the same time, it's not what they're used to watching.
Exactly.
That's the only thing. Here's an even bigger question, and I know the chat room will go ape shit over this question. Not angry, just ape shit with the reply. You get technical wrestling like this aplenty in NXT. It's every Johnny Gargano match starts out exactly how this entire match was. Okay? Mm-hmm. Everything in NXT starts off how this match entirely was. Okay? But what I don't understand is most of the people in this crowd today, I would imagine, watch NXT. And this is a match that is right up their alley. I did not see the golf claps. I did not hear the chanting. I didn't hear any of that, which leads me to believe, and I latch onto this crowd so much because I keep hearing about, the fantastic myth of Philadelphia. By God, let's not get started on that shit. Okay, but Philadelphia is such a knowledgeable crowd. Well, horse shit. What were they doing during this match? They're not knowledgeable of anything. The only thing they're knowledgeable of is when they want to get attention for themselves. Okay? Yeah, I'm knocking Philly. Yeah, bring it on, Philly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your tea sucks. Come over to Charlotte. I got better tea over here. Okay, Just had to get that off my chest. I'm in a anti-Philly rant right now. You know?
Tell us how you really feel, Doug.
I hate Philly. That's how I feel.
There you go.
Other stuff on the show. Get more to happier talk. Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo, part 247. Okay. Did we need this? Did we need this?
I think we did, just because of we needed some sort of payoff.
Okay.
You know, like Andrade gets suspended, he gets written off TV because of suspension, whatever, the DDT on the exposed concrete or whatever it is. I get that they had to do, you know, the final match, the last one, and let's get the whole payoff going. But the way the match ended, it looks like we're getting one more match.
It feels like it.
Yeah. And as much as I love them, you know, I'll watch another match, but I need something different. And by something different, I mean a different ending.
Yes. Yeah. Enough of the concrete spots.
That's it.
Enough of the concrete spots. Enough of the, I don't know if this is the first or second time they've done a hand on the tights type thing. Enough of Zelina running the interference. You know, it seems to be the same old. Even when we introduced Angel Garza into the program to substitute for Andrade, I'm smelling a clusterfuck title match at WrestleMania.
Pre-show.
A pre-show. I mean, I'm anticipating these two guys with Garza and Mysterio, throw some others in there, throw a ladder in there, and you've got it. And it'd still be on the pre-show, is what I'm imagining. But we've just been getting the same old. We need some resolution of some kind, and we still have to wait another potentially 4 weeks for that to happen.
Well, they kind of written themselves into a corner in a way, because let's say the payoff happens tonight. Then what do you do with Andrade going into WrestleMania? You have him feud with Angel Garza?
You could.
For 1 month?
Well, you could. I was imagining. I thought. Here we go with my negativity. I locked Carrillo to win this and become the new champion, because I was imagining this title playing hot potato every week to lead into WrestleMania. We've had that before. It's happened before, and that's kind of what I was envisioning. I'm glad I'm wrong, I guess. I don't know.
I think the United States title stays more relevant on Andrade more so than Carrillo or anyone else. Keep it on Andrade for now. Have him maintain. Have him retain the title at WrestleMania, and then have him feud with someone that's not Latin American.
Sure. Oh, that'd be a first.
You know.
It'd be awkward.
Nothing against, you know, the Lucha Libre style. I love it. I love them. Great matches, but
no, Roy. Tell us how you really feel. Tell us how you really feel, Roy. Come on, tell us how you really feel.
Donald Trump should have fucking built that wall already. No, what I mean is, like, Andrade could do a lot more.
Oh yeah,
Andrade could definitely do a lot more, and it's redundant. It's getting redundant with Mysterio, with Carrillo right now. Like, they're great matches, but there's only like so many different endings that you could have, and so many different spots that you could have. And if you want to really fully establish Andrade as a U.S. champion, especially as a heel with Zelina Vega on his side, then have him feud with different people, you know, for a while. So I'm happy that he retained.
How awkward is that? How awkward is that Andrade Aleister Black title match going to be?
Oh, with Zelina Vega.
Yeah, how awkward's that going to feel?
You think they're going to do it?
Oh, I don't doubt that for a second. Oh, they'd absolutely do something like that. You kidding me? We got to have that awkwardness. Gotta have it. Let me see. I'm just kind of scrolling through here. Okay. Street Profits versus Rollins and Murph. AOP in tow. Viking Raiders come out because Vikings do that. Kevin Owens with a humongous box of popcorn that I heard cost like $16. Wasted all of it dumping it on Murphy after the match. Enough talking about the programs on SmackDown. It's now time to talk about the programs on Raw and how really tedious they are. Here's a big one, okay? This needs to stop right now. This whole Rollins, Murphy, AOP, Kevin Owens, Street Profits, Samoa Joe is on suspension. He's going to be coming back soon. Viking Raiders thrown into the mix. We have right now incorporated 10 to 12 guys on the Raw roster into one program that makes no sense to me right now. I'm having a difficult time grasping this. How do we end this?
Send Seth Rollins back to NXT.
Oh, yeah, we can't do that.
Of course we could.
We could? Oh, okay.
Definitely. Look, if they could do it to Finn Balor, they could do it to Seth Rollins. No, but seriously speaking, I have no clue. Like, they've fucked up the AOP. They've rebranded the Viking Raiders like 10 times in a span of 2 weeks. They don't know what to do with Seth Rollins. And personally speaking, nothing against Seth. Really nothing at all. I think, he's a good worker and all that stuff. Whenever I see him on television, I just want to break something.
Sure.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the gimmick. I don't know because he's a good worker in the ring, don't get me wrong. But I don't know if it's the gimmick or the storylines. It's just stupid. I don't care. Why am I supposed to care about AOP? Why are they with Seth Rollins? What's the point? Are they getting tag team title matches? They're not.
I'm just trying to figure out that, okay, everyone's angry at Seth Rollins because he has a messianic complex. Is that really? Is that why this is happening?
So, right?
Yeah.
I don't care about it. Like the whole storyline, it's a stupid storyline. It's stupid, not because it's stupid because I'm Christian, I'm Catholic. No, nothing like that. I just find it's stupid. It just doesn't work.
It doesn't make sense. No, I'm not looking for any verification of saying but Doug, no, there is no devil's advocate argument to make here. It's bad. Okay, this needs to stop. I would have no problem with everyone involved here being in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Really.
Including Seth, by the way.
Including Seth. I'm including Samoa Joe. Okay? Everyone in this needs to be.
Assuming he wouldn't get injured.
Assuming he doesn't get injured or his doctor files in the correct paperwork for all the medications that he takes or whatnot. So they doesn't get dinged again. Barring Kevin Owens caring more about his children. No, I'm not. I don't mean that. No. Okay, just have them all go somewhere, do something else. Repackage everyone except the Street Profits. They're still annoying. At least they aren't the wandering minstrels anymore. At least the Street Profits are not Raw's wandering minstrels reminding us what's happening every week. Finally, they're a part of the show now. Okay?
Their little vignettes reminded me of the Randy Orton updates 15 years ago when he got injured.
Yeah. Way back when.
Way back, and he's talking, he's like, well, I'm 50% healed now and whatever, and it just kind of reminded me of that.
I am now 78% healed. I'm very
random number.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Look, I don't mind the Street Profits because who gives a shit about the tag team division on Raw anyways? Literally, I have no fucking clue what they're doing with that.
Sure.
And no one knows what they're gonna do with that. So they'll just kind of bounce around from there. But like you said, take everyone, put them into a blender, throw them into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and fucking ship them off to NXT afterwards.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's go ahead and cap this off with what everyone was moaning and groaning about at the end of the show. Main event, Women's Elimination Chamber match to determine the number one contender for the Raw Women's Championship against the meme Becky Lynch. That's what she is now. Look, I understand the natives getting restless during this match because, well, number one, it's full of men, and watching a bunch of women do stuff in the ring that they could never do themselves, I completely understand why they would be so angry. Because who are they going to identify with in the ring? They don't have penises. I don't know what's going on. So, in a nutshell, that's what's happening, okay? Breaking it to you. But this match, yes, it's predictable. Yes, we knew Shayna Baszler was going to win. Of course we knew this. Just almost as much as we knew that Bork Laser was going to rampage through the Royal Rumble, right? I mean, just as much as we thought that, you know, Bray Wyatt was going to rampage through Goldberg, right? We can predict that Baszler was going to win this, no problem. But we didn't think that she was going to lay waste to every single person in the chamber and leave everyone sitting in their seats doing nothing for 6 minutes throughout this match. When I mean that, people in their pods, she's in the middle of the ring, prancing around, and everyone is losing their collective shit because nothing is happening. I love that. I'm sorry. Convince me that I am high.
Look, fuck. I'm trying.
Loaded question. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No. It's fine. It's, oh my God. Look, I'm trying to like make sense of what just happened and not make sense. Sorry. I'm trying to be positive of what just happened because I hated it.
Sure.
I didn't hate it because Shayna blitzed through everyone.
Okay.
I don't give a shit about that because when she came out at number 3 or number 4, I kind of figured she was going to run through everyone and then Asuka would be the last one and she'd get the win. So I was semi-expecting that. My problem with this was that it was the main event.
Okay.
That was my problem with this. Not in terms of the match, good match, bad match, because they took some bumps. Like Liv Morgan took some bumps, Natalya, whatever. You know what I mean? My problem with this was that it was the fact that it was the main event, and we ended up, in my opinion, what was a very, very good pay-per-view on a low note.
Gotcha.
That was my problem. So it's not the fact that, you know, you're high or you're drunk, because God knows you probably are drunk.
Well, it's one of the two, you know, just go with the surefire one.
Exactly. So my thing is not the fact that, you know, Shayna went through everyone and won the match and it's predictable and she's going to face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania and blah, blah, blah. That's fine. I knew we were going to get that.
Yeah.
It's just, it killed the momentum of the crowd. You could have had this on as the second match, in my opinion. Like, have it after the, or even third match, have it after the U.S. title match or something. Anything, just don't fucking have it as a main event. But then you look at the card and you think to yourself, what the fuck's the main event then? That's the problem.
The only... If I was not... I'm just looking at the card right now. If there were 2 matches that I would have this substitute the place of to be the main event, I could have the SmackDown Tag Elimination Chamber match be the main event. But the problem is, if we've slated Miz and Morrison to win that, I just don't see that. Just because I'm not saying that, you know, that's the decision that they had in that match. That would have just as much of a balloon deflating factor as this match did, I think. If there was another match, if they only had more time to build it, I would have had Aleister Black, AJ Styles end it. Only because you had The Undertaker run in, that's what you end the show on, is The Undertaker run in. But if they only had enough time for Styles to provoke Undertaker going into this match, because we only got 2 weeks of this. If they had at least maybe 4 weeks of this, that would have been how I would have ended this show, being The Undertaker, or even having Styles go over Black and giving The Undertaker treatment, you know, tombstoning him or whatnot, and then Undertaker shows up. You know, that's how I would have ended the show. Would it have been at a good high spot? Maybe the highest spot that we could get, to tell you the truth, because I got no Goldberg, I've got no Lesnar, I got no Roman Reigns, I've got no Drew McIntyre, I got no Bray Wyatt, I got no John Cena. Everyone who is having very low expectations for this pay-per-view, I got you 6 reasons why you were. But at the same time, you were going into this with the lowest of bars, and you're getting to see a lot of people that you haven't seen on television or pay-per-view lately. Drew Gulak's never been on a pay-per-view. Period. He's never been on a mainstream WWE pay-per-view on the main card. First time, right here, to have a match. Oh, he was in the Royal Rumble. Match, right here. Drew Gulak shined He shined real well to develop his character. In the Women's Elimination Chamber match, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riott. Okay? Sarah Logan has been floundering with a character development problem for the past 10 months. Ruby Riott coming back from bilateral reparative surgery on both shoulders. She's been out for 9 months. And Liv Morgan trying to develop a character at the behest of Bobby Lashley, Lana, and Rusev. They got a spot on this pay-per-view, and they got the main event. And I think they did a pretty darn good job with the amount of time that they were given. Okay? But I'm kind of rambling here because, again, if we were to substitute this match for any other match on this to be the main event, it's really difficult. This seemed to be the only one that they could have, and quite frankly, the crowd made it feel deflating, I guess is the best way to put it. The crowd really made this feel deflating, but at the same time, there weren't a lot of high spots to really talk about in the match. There were way more in the tag team match. I need more of Baszler. I need Baszler taunting that crowd more. Is what I need. I wish you would have grabbed a microphone during the times where there was some silence. I think that would have maybe built it up a little better. Maybe her just going over through the cage, everyone booing, and her just pointing her fingers out at the crowd, telling everyone to shut up. You know, engage the crowd a little more. But again, I can completely understand how this match felt out of place, though.
It did, and again, I'll repeat because I don't want anyone to think I'm hating on any one of them, because it was a solid effort, and honestly, everyone put in a good effort in the match, and they all took bumps and everything. But like you said, it fell out of place. How could I put this? The crowd was not into it because I feel like they did not give them enough to be into it, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah.
Like, you had 10 minutes of just, Shayna Baszler standing there. Like you said, no microphone in hand, no nothing. And it was more Asuka that was in the pod that was, trying to get a reaction. It was Liv Morgan in the pod. She even freaking pointed at the WrestleMania sign that tried to get a reaction. It feels like the fans, either because, one, it was a predictable ending and everyone knew, look, Shayna's just eliminating everyone. She's going to get, she's going to eliminate Asuka and we're going to get her at WrestleMania. Maybe that was it. Maybe the crowd, no matter what, was just going to shit on the match. Yeah. Which I fear is the truth. I think you could have gotten a fantastic 5-star match and the fans just would not have been into it. Just because it's 6 women, sorry. Yeah. And an Elimination Chamber match. Literally, I think it's that. One thing I thought they could have added much more to it was after the match, I was fully expecting Becky Lynch to come out. Yes. Because they showed her twice backstage watching the match. I'm like, all right, this match ended, it was like 10:40 my time. I'm like, there's at least 5 more minutes here. Let's get it going. Shayna celebrating, WWE logo shows up bottom right. I'm like, oh, okay, this is it. So it didn't really give the crowd did not leave on a high. And I think they knew that going into the main event, like, shit, this is the main event. We know Shayna's winning. There's no real high to it. Whereas if they would have gone with AJ Styles versus Aleister Black in the main event, not many people, I think, saw The Undertaker showing up. I don't think. Maybe
you're
I'm
right. No, you're right. Probably.
And whenever The Undertaker shows up, even if it's for 5 seconds, like he did earlier tonight, it's a big pop.
Oh, yeah.
And Aleister Black would have benefited. Undertaker obviously doesn't need the rub, but he still would have gotten it. AJ Styles as well. You're helping build up the feud for WrestleMania, which is in a month's time. Mm-hmm. And you're building up, Aleister Black as, hey, shit, I just main evented a pay-per-view and won. Mm-hmm. There's more people to benefit from that, in my opinion.
And I kind of want to build up. You touched on a really good point when it came to why this Women's Elimination Chamber match maybe didn't get the fire that it should have gotten. And I think you touched on it right there, was Becky Lynch didn't need to be backstage. Becky Lynch should have been out. Like, not out in the crowd. I could have seen her, with how for the past few weeks Becky Lynch has been just meme-tastic, wearing these obnoxious sunglasses, whatever thing is obnoxious that she's wearing. Let's say all the women are now in the Elimination Chamber. Up pops Becky Lynch's music. She walks out in a folding chair and sits right there at the top of the ramp, looking all smug and everything, sitting right there watching the match and everything. And the match, nothing really changes in this match. It happens the same way it did right now, with Baszler plowing through every female. I just wanted to say plowing through every female there. I just had to get that through. Baszler leaves the pod, destroys everyone in her wake. And as this is happening, you see Lynch's demeanor slowly change. You know, after the first one, she's kind of like, okay, yeah, she's doing pretty good. After the second one, in the span of 45 seconds, I see you now. Then after she disposes of Natalya, now she is sitting at the edge of her chair. And then with each elimination that Baszler gives, you see a growing reaction to how serious Lynch now sees this, to where she is standing up out of her chair. Baszler's won the match. She's kicked the chair out of the way. She's dropped everything that's in her hands, and she's stomping towards the ring, while Baszler is posing and being victorious and everything. And we've got a brawl between the two of them inside the chamber. That's how this really should have ended, is with that kind of a build-up to go into those two going at it at WrestleMania. If you're wanting that match to be a main event level match, that's how you start it right there. Right then and there, immediately. You cannot have it with everyone trying to figure out why they're investing in the match. The entire crowd, like you said, with no high spots and no one like Logan or Riot or Natalya not even reacting to the crowd, there's nothing to invest in. And so now we have only left to invest in Baszler, who's, just going through every female and not paying attention to us. Liv Morgan kind of pointing at the sign. Asuka, baka, 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 baka. I mean, kind of sounds like a dyslexic Fozzie the Bear, but I know what that means. I watch anime, kids. Don't fill up the comments of this damn thing. So I guess that's how I would have booked it. But again, I don't make hundreds of thousands of dollars to be a creative writer. So what do I know? They must know something that I don't.
No, I agree. It would have kicked off. Kicked off the feud. It would have continued the feud and given it, that little spark plug I think it needs, because now Becky Lynch for me is just completely run out of steam.
Oh yeah,
I'm a Becky fan, but I can't be bothered to even get invested in her right now, because it's just kind of like, okay, well, you're the man and you beat up whatever the entire women's division, women's roster, and then what? You get what I mean? I'm not invested in it. And this would have been a good way probably to kind of get like, okay, you know what? There's a fight going on. There's a brawl. Like you said, her demeanor changes, her facial expression changes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. It gives you something. It adds to her character, which she desperately needs right now, because her character is flat. They're trying it with the glasses and the goat jacket and whatnot, but you need something. You need something, and this would have been a great way, because it would have, what's it called? Would have added to her character. It would have added a shit ton of stuff to the match.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd probably would have been involved. Like, imagine, what's her name? Shayna eliminates Liv Morgan, right? And then as she's waiting for Asuka, boom, Becky Lynch's music hits.
Yeah.
That's gonna get a pop.
Oh yeah. Especially even if those two are left and we're still thinking that Baszler's winning, you still got, but the Asuka's still there. Oh, she's now really paying attention.
Yeah.
So
it
gets
you something.
But it would wake everyone up. It would wake everyone up, because that's desperately what needed to happen during this match. Everyone had to wake up somehow, some way. But all right, that's enough bitching. Maybe if we just watch Daniel Bryan, Drew Gulak more, we'll be fine. I don't know.
Well, one more question. I'm not bitching. I'm just kind
No.
of Did Shayna Baszler break tradition and not point to the WrestleMania sign?
Oh no, she just open palmed it.
Okay.
Yeah, she just open palmed it. It wasn't pointing at it like that's where I'm going. It was more like, I offer to you WrestleMania.
Gotcha. Okay, I missed that. All right. Okay, I missed that.
Which I prefer open palm more than pointing. Everyone points. I present to you, you arrogant smug bitch, WrestleMania. That's what. Hey. No, she didn't break code. She did not break code.
Okay.
The one thing I do want to mention about as I was watching this show, this was the first time that I actually watched this show mostly on mute because I was watching the WWE watch along while the pay-per-view was going on. Okay. My 2 cents on this experience of watching it with the WWE watch along. Oh, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Okay. If you can tolerate watching an entire WWE event for 3.5 hours on mute, do it. Please, by all means, do it. If you're not dependent on the announcers to tell you what's happening, by all means, do it. The feed itself is maybe about 10 seconds late to what you're watching, and I think that's done on purpose. That's fine, but the big reason they're doing this is right now the in thing on the YouTubes is reaction videos, so that's why they got this watch-along thing happening. We had guest appearances. First off, they had this happening in what looked like a locker room. This was in they had this set up in a locker room. During, I believe, the tag team Elimination Chamber match, Drew Gulak walks over to the back where the benches are, and he starts untying his boot while everyone's still doing the show. And they're going like, Drew, what are you doing? How'd your match? And they're all talking. It's like, Drew, we're doing a thing. And Drew's looking around like, what the? There's a locker room. They're like, yeah, but it's the watch along. He's like, no, but it's a locker room. Why didn't anyone tell me this? And R-Truth is in there. He's got, dog, it's right there on the screen. Watch along. And Drew's like, well, this is crap. And he just walks out. Drew Gulak ends up walking back in to be a part of the show. Zelina Vega is annoying as fuck. She is annoying as hell. I'm not saying that because she stays in character. I'm not saying that at all about her. She doesn't shut up. She got in there, and man, I don't know what it is. Her mouth never gets dry. Okay, she never took a sip of water, and she is talking for a $1.75 hour and 45 minutes nonstop. It was rough. It was really, really rough. She's got to lay off. Mandy Rose making an awkward appearance during the tag team Elimination Chamber match, seeing Otis go through the playcast window, and then Dolph Ziggler getting pinned. Everyone's asking her the tough questions. She is just smiling and not answering anything. She gets up to leave and says that she needs to check on Dolph. Then they say, well, what about Otis? And she goes, oh, I got to check on him too. So we're left with that.
When Otis went through the pod, the bulletproof glass, as they called it in the original chamber.
Yes.
I was kind of expecting Mandy to come out.
Yeah. I was expecting, Mandy to come out or something,
Yeah. But that's see, I've thought about the ride along thing or the watch along, and I feel like I will do it. Not for WrestleMania though.
Oh no,
not for WrestleMania. But I would watch it, like whatever pay-per-view, whatever shitty pay-per-view we usually get after WrestleMania, like Fastlane or something.
Yeah, they only do it for the WWE pay-per-views. They don't do it for NXT. But
well, that's a different brand, Doug.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's a completely different thing. What the hell am I talking about? But let me see, who else showed up? MVP showed up, just to talk words. I don't know. Yeah. R-Truth was on there, and they started having discussions about why squirrels have razor sharp teeth. Yeah. R-Truth is a treasure to behold. Okay. Yeah. He left the watch along and ended up walking into the bathroom instead of through the exit doors. They made him know this during the watch along. No, I highly recommend anyone just check it out. You don't have to watch it all the way through, but just check it out. It is a lot of fun on there. And they had Kayla on there. God, I can't do it. I can't do it this late in the day. I can't do it this late in the day. And also my girlfriend is trying to fall asleep. I can't do that right now.
Yeah, and especially if you start yelling a random girl's name and
Well,
she's trying to sleep.
she's actually gotten used to it by now.
Okay. Speaking of Kayla, where are the Iconics? Like,
Oh!
I follow them on Instagram, and every one of them, like both of them are both home taking pictures of something.
Yeah, they are at home, taking their. I don't know if it's exactly taking breaks or taking vacations. They are not injured. I know that for a fact. They are not injured. Whether they are still doing stuff involving wildfires relief, even though that's already happened a while back. If they're doing fundraising regarding that, if they're doing anything involving that, I'm not sure of. Now is the time to have the Iconics back.
How you do the milk carton? How long have they been gone for?
They've been gone since November the 25th of last year.
So Survivor Series, I think.
Yes, little after Survivor Series, they were pitching us, trying to get us to buy shit on WWEshop.com on an episode of Monday Night Raw. That was the last time we've seen them.
So we're going on 4 months right now.
Yeah, we're looking.
They're not gonna show up before WrestleMania unless they do like a tag team turmoil for the WWE tag team titles.
They are not. They're not going to show up albeit maybe a surprise entrant for something. Yeah, like a tag team turmoil type thing or another gauntlet match. Something like that.
But see, like, it's funny because didn't they win the tag team titles at WrestleMania last year?
Yes, they did. And I see nothing wrong with them doing it again. Nothing wrong with that.
I like the Iconics. They're funny, whatever, and all that stuff. But they won the tag titles, defended them like once every 3 months, eventually lost them, fine.
Yeah.
And disappear off TV. So like, what the fuck are they actually doing with them? What are they doing with the tag team titles? Just retire them. Even Alexa Bliss made a joke about it on SmackDown.
Well, I mean, let me see. You would think that on International Women's Day, being today, that, apart from having this Elimination Chamber match to determine the number one contender for the Raw Women's title, that we would have more than one women's match on this card. You would think that. You would think we would potentially have Bayley and Banks teaming up against Naomi and Lacey Evans for the 242nd time. You would think that we would maybe have Becky Lynch squash somebody. Maybe Charlotte would appear. Maybe Rhea Ripley would appear. Maybe any other women would appear on International Women's Day. But no, we chose not to. Iconics would have been great to show up. Nia Jax would have been great to show up. Okay, Nia Jax is perfectly healthy. She's good to go.
My guess is they're probably saving Nia till after WrestleMania.
That's my guess.
To feud with Shayna,
yeah. That's my guess. I know, but I understand the point is, what's the point of the women's tag team titles? The point is we were supposed to bolster women. The point is we were supposed to give them more opportunities and more reasons to be on television, to put them in programs that mattered. And in fact, we will give you a prop to help you in a reason of having a program. That didn't work. Okay? It's not the Iconics' fault. It's the fault of everyone else on this roster. We could not get Kairi Sane and Asuka over unless we had Paige and a goofy nickname for them. It took them 3 months to build the characters they have now that have been going for another 3 months. So that build for those two was a half year in the making. Carmella went through a midlife crisis. Had something go on with her mentally or emotionally or something and was off TV for 4 months. Liv Morgan, we didn't know what the hell was going on with her. She was off TV for close to 7 months. Sarah Logan was on Main Event for another 7 months. Ruby Wyatt, Ember Moon, Nia Jax, all of them injured. Okay. Tamina, injured also. She came back for a quick hiccup and then got a concussion on Memorial Day weekend of last year. I'm right now rattling through the entire women's roster, and give you the only pluses that I can give you of the women's roster for the past 10 to 12 months is Bayley's swerve. That's about it.
And that died down pretty quickly.
And that died quickly. She needs to change her name to Karen, and she will fly. Okay? She needs to change her name to Karen. Okay? I think it's great. But I just flew through the entire women's roster. And also, Naomi was out for a while with a death in the family. So I went through the entire roster of those that were either fledgling, hurt, or had personal problems. Don't get me started on Sasha Banks. Okay? That is a different thing. That's a different thing entirely. Okay? So that's the entire roster, and everyone is eyeballing the NXT roster right now when it comes to trying to, they're worried about the women. Okay, who are we going to bring up from NXT to kind of give, a steroid shot, a booster shot to the women's division? You're not going to find anyone from NXT right now either. Rhea Ripley? No.
And that's why they sent Charlotte there.
Yeah, that's why Charlotte's gone to NXT. It's to whip them into shape.
Yeah.
It's to build all of them up. Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai, Xia Li, Mia Yim. I mean, I'll rattle them all off, but I'm going to tell you right now, I can't tell the difference between a whole lot of them. They all look the same. There's nothing that can set any of them apart from one another. So for the women, I understand that they're building them up, and seriously, a lot of them are better in the ring than most men. Problem is they aren't reacting to the crowd. They're not building up their own characters. There's no effective programs to build with them because of those two voids. So, don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no, it's bad. I forgot even when Mandy Rose, not Mandy Rose, when Alexa Bliss cut the promo on SmackDown, she said, "Hey, Kabuki Warriors, if you ever want to defend your titles, you're supposed to defend it on both brands." I had completely forgot that women's tag titles even existed. I'm like, oh shit, it's true.
Yeah.
It's a major fuck up. They fucked it up. It was a whole push, like you said. The women, they wanted to push the women. They did the Revolution pay-per-view, which was a one-off, apparently.
Sad. That's sad.
It was bad. They could have done it every year. Fine.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Do something. It's good. But they did a one-off, which was not a bad pay-per-view per se. They just didn't do it again. They created they introduced the tag team titles for the women, pushed it a little bit, and then just everything got deflated. They just fucked it up completely. And now you have one half of the tag team champions that was in a mini feud, I guess, with Shayna.
Mm-hmm.
So fuck that. Then you had the other half who she got married?
Well, it was
she got injured.
Well, it was Asuka had the feud with Becky Lynch that spanned for about 2 or 3 months. In between that, you had their tag title match at Survivor Series
against
Charlotte and Becky Lynch. Kyrie ended up getting Sane got a concussion. She was knocked out of action. And so whether they were supposed to do something involving the tag titles, I'm not sure, but they still went with the Asuka idea. What was in the books involving Kyrie Sane, I'm not sure. Who really knows? Jamel brings it up in the chat room. We miss Wanda Rousey.
That's another one. It's true. Completely forgot about her.
We miss Wanda Rousey a lot right now.
Is that the money feud for SummerSlam?
I don't.
Her and Shayna, obviously, I'm talking.
I just don't. The money feud right now. If they're sending Charlotte to NXT, then that's where she stays put. I was kind of imagining a Shayna Charlotte thing, but that's not going to happen.
No, they won't do it right after WrestleMania. I don't think.
No.
It's that season.
If I'm looking at a money feud right now for SummerSlam, oh gosh, it is so tough right now for the women. I swear I have such high hopes for Nia Jax. It's involving her and Becky Lynch or her and Shayna Baszler. One of the two.
Because what I'm imagining now is obviously Shayna wins at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
She feuds with whatever, Nia Jax or someone. And then at Money in the Bank, which is in June, you have either Charlotte, who wins the title at WrestleMania, wins the NXT title, then drops it or whatever. But you have Charlotte that comes back to the main roster, wins the Money in the Bank, or Becky wins it back, or Ronda wins it back. So
I can see Ronda being a surprise entrant in Money in the Bank.
A Money in the Bank, and then you build that for SummerSlam.
You could see her pulling a Bork, absolutely. No problem with that. Though we'll just have to find out first if she really likes playing video games right now, because that's what she's doing. We'll see if she ever leaves that. I'm not sure. All that I really know is, for now, I don't know if there's really one person that can save the women's roster for the WWE right now. The
only thing I could, and I'll add to that, sorry not to cut you off, but
yeah.
I think the only thing that could potentially save the women's division right now is Ronda versus Shayna.
Yes.
But you cannot have that right after WrestleMania, because you have to continue building Shayna up and have her go through 2-3 women until she gets to Ronda.
Right.
Either that or Charlotte and Shayna, obviously.
Ebony brings it up. I was actually looking forward to a Naomi Charlotte match. Naomi returning, and the look that she has is fantastic. If there's any hope that I do have, I'm just gonna leave this with, if I've got my hopes on 3 women that are right now in the roster that they have right now, that I don't need to shift anywhere. If I'm talking shifting, I may send Raw to SmackDown, SmackDown to Raw. I'm only talking about these 2 shows, no one from NXT. If I've got my eyes set on 3 people, 3 women, it is a returning Nia Jax is the first one. Naomi, for sure, on SmackDown. She's getting mainstream attention, and that's one thing they will latch on to with the WWE. I'd latch on to Naomi, and over on the Raw side, Shayna. It's Shayna on the Raw side. That's who it is.
There's no one else, because Becky Lynch, people I think are, and it's not her fault, I'm not saying it's her fault, but I think people are just sick of her now.
Yeah.
So you could put her on SmackDown, keep her on Raw. I don't think it's going to change anything.
No, it's not. No. There's nothing. There's no other repackaging you can do with her. There's no swerving you can do with Becky Lynch. Okay, she's a meme. Period. That's what she is now. All right. Yeah. Everything is now going to rest on Shayna on the Raw side.
That's for sure. And to add to what you said about Naomi, because obviously I cover SmackDown, so I have no choice but to watch it. She's getting good pops. The fans are interacting with her. She's doing well. My only question is if creative will actually run with her. And by that I mean, my guess is she'll win the women's title at WrestleMania. My guess is she beats Bayley, wins the title. I have no doubt about that. But my thing is, how long will they keep it on her for? Are they going to have her drop the title in a month against Alexa Bliss, or are they going to give her a lengthy title run until, at least June or July?
That's
bare minimum.
I got to tell you, I don't think that is up for creative to decide. I think that's up to the Fox network to decide. I think when they see that Naomi, the pop that she gets and wins the title, and how they will build her into having a match, I really, really think, I'm not saying there's going to be a seismic shift in ratings, but you will see a demographical shift in their ratings, okay? They've got this down to a science, and they're going to see a certain demographic that doesn't have a penis and that is under the age of 30 watching their show more often. And also, you're going to find out that a lot of these people that are watching the show a lot more often are in urban areas. I am not saying anything. I'm just saying that's where the demographic's going to lie. So, that's what I think.
Yeah. No, and I agree, because if you look at, granted this was just tonight, but if you look at the Street Profits or the Usos, when they came out, the camera was on, let's say, the camera was not on someone that looked like you, Doug.
Oh, of course not. No.
when the Usos and when the Street Profits came out, they got a pop, they got a cheer, they got a reaction from the crowd, and the people that were on screen were not people that looked like you.
No, they weren't. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and say it. Yeah, Jamel just wants to say,
Literally.
yeah, black people, Jamel. Black people. I'll go ahead and say it. Yes, I will. Okay.
There you go, Jamel.
There you go.
Yes, black people.
Just
black.
say, yeah, even he wants you to say it, Roy. Yeah, black people.
No, but it's true. It's true. When the Usos came out, there was like two black guys, and they were like, bobbing their head to the song, to the Usos song, and all that stuff, and even the Street Profits, and it works. Hey, it's what works. If it brings in ratings, it brings in viewers. Fuck it, do it. You know what I mean? Plus, they're talented. Naomi's talented in the ring. Contrary to what my brother thinks, I think my brother does not find her as talented. I think she's talented in the ring. Street Profits need a bit more exposure, but they're getting there, and it's getting a reaction.
They're entertaining. Period. That's it. They're entertaining. Period. It doesn't matter what they do in the ring that can, satiate your scientific palate for wrestling. It doesn't matter. Otis is entertaining. Okay. I'll list you off some other performers that are entertaining that don't do necessarily jack in the ring, but they will. Braun Strowman. God, there you go. Seriously. Yes, they're entertaining. Period. Okay. Street Profits are going to have a job for a very long time. Naomi's going to have a job for a very long time because they have looks. They have a look. They have a demeanor about them. Just as how I was about Tucker earlier today about finally getting his spot. God love Angelo Dawkins because he's been going through the same damn thing. And he's finally got his spot here with Street Profits, something that he's been trying to build up for just like Tucker for the past 6 or 7 years in developmental. He's got his spot, and all he does is say fam. Okay? He's not, and he's not necessarily, let's go ahead and face facts too. He's not exactly the most graceful and nimble person in the ring. Okay? No. He is a train wreck waiting to happen. Okay? Seriously, he is. But, god dang it, he's entertaining as hell. Okay? He does his job and does it well. Montez Ford is a wacky-looking fuck. He loves to shake those rings. He gyrates his hips. He's got chicken legs. But damn it, he's entertaining. He leaps higher than Kofi. I'll give him that, too. So, the Street Profits and Naomi have a look that TV executives love right now. Okay? Seriously, I am keeping those tag titles on the Street Profits for a while. Naomi is going to get the SmackDown Women's title. You're going to see Fox executive enjoying the slight uptick in ratings that they're going to see, but a massive uptick in certain demographics that they're really going to like. And the WWE creative is going to have to go, well, shit. How are we going to do this? Let's put her in a feud. How does Sasha Banks feel? Naomi versus Sasha Banks in a program. Why not? We're going to be doing a little shuffling around between Raw and SmackDown. I got some heels I can ship on over to SmackDown to feed to Naomi if need be. I was really hoping for Lacey Evans to still be a heel because a Lacey Evans-Naomi feud sounds so fantastic. Are you telling me a Southern white woman against Naomi? Sign me up. Sign me up. I know you're from Canada and you don't get this, Roy, but
I get it.
Sign me up.
I get it more than you can imagine, actually. Trust me. That's why I'm laughing at this. Dude, I would sign me up on that, and I don't even have to watch the match. I'll just read the comments. Mm-hmm. I'll read the angry fucking...
Oh, yeah. You want to ship over... You can ship over people from Raw, too, We've developed some heels, I think. Ruby Riott, maybe?
I don't know. Is Liv Morgan a heel or face?
She's a baby face, we think.
We think.
Maybe.
Okay.
Sarah Logan is a heel, we think. Right now, Riot Squad, we have no idea what's going on with them.
Yeah. No.
We have no idea what's going on with them.
No fucking clue.
Yeah, Raw right now is a complete cluster.
The only good thing about Raw, and I'm being very honest, and you're gonna probably be very surprised, Jerry Lawler.
Jerry Lawler has comparing the Jerry Lawler now to what we had before, and when I mean before is only maybe 5 years ago,
Yeah.
6 years ago, is night and day. And it has a lot to do with who he is with at that table more than it is what he necessarily is doing. There's a difference between Michael Cole and Todd Phillips.
Of course.
You know, there's a difference between Booker T and Byron Saxton. You know, big differences. And it's a great dynamic that Jerry Lawler has right now on Raw. The dynamic that he has is the dynamic that Jim Ross is supposed to have on AEW. The curmudgeon-y white guy that doesn't know what's going on. Okay? Jerry Lawler seriously is supposed to be that. You know?
Yeah.
Supposed to be the one, get off my lawn. You know, what are you kids talking about? Byron, what was that word you just said? Instagram? What are you talking about? No, I don't know what that is. Shut up, I'm women. You know.
Comments where, he said something earlier, and I don't know why I just very much enjoyed it. It was right before the Humberto Carrillo and Andrade match, and he said Carrillo is not championship material.
Yeah.
So he still plays that little heel thing of, you know, I'm with the heel, I'm with Andrade, like this guy's not championship material. Or sometimes he'll add a lot of stuff to the match, like the AJ Styles versus Aleister Black. AJ, when he kept working on Aleister's leg, Lawler literally said, oh, well, he's attacking the leg so that he could take away the black mass.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll add, you know, those little things that maybe the two other commentators don't. And it's such a resurgence, and it's such a good thing to see, because the Lawler from 5 or 6 or it was 6 years ago, I think I was in Montreal when he had that heart attack on Raw. It was 2014, I believe. That Jerry Lawler compared to now is night and day.
Oh, yeah.
Night and day. Because he could play that serious Lawler, but he could also play that goofy Lawler of, like you said, you know, what's Instagram? What's that?
Yeah.
He plays both, and it's just so much more fun to watch.
It's
or listen to.
It is way easier to stomach. I'm glad that they brought him back. Especially with the team that they have him with now. I don't think him and Corey Graves just don't mesh well together. Him and Michael Cole don't mesh well together. It's this team that they have right here where, Tom Phillips being the straight guy, play-by-play. Byron Saxton playing the nerd, the goofy nerd. I love that role. That is a fantastic role to have at this table. And then Jerry Lawler, who is, supposed to be the cagey veteran guy, who's the wrestler that'll, sometimes side with the heels, because he's that old guy and he doesn't like some new things, but also makes fun of Saxton, but not to the level that Graves would. It's a great dynamic that those three have. In comparison to SmackDown, where... damn it, I understand why they brought Cole and Graves from Raw to SmackDown. I totally get it. They're on the Raw show. Fox wanted them on there. I totally get it. Totally understand it. But, man, it's very difficult at times. It's difficult.
Yeah, I don't mind. I've grown to, I don't want to say appreciate, but I've grown to like Michael Cole, let's say. And
Yeah.
Corey Graves, I don't mind. Every now and then he has a good one-liner. Both of them together for 2 hours can sometimes be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. The one thing is, I think out of everyone that's doing announcing right now, I think Graves is the best partner they could put with Michael Cole.
Yeah. He's probably the only one.
He's the only one. You can't put Saxton. You can't put Phillips. You can't put anyone else with Cole aside from Corey Graves.
Yeah.
Because Cole is that, like you said, straight, sharp, play-by-play guy, and Corey Graves is the heel.
The guy who wishes he was Bobby Heenan. So he's going to try his damnedest to act like Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
No.
No.
don't get me wrong. There are some things that I do like that Graves does. Like whenever Mandy Rose comes out, he is golden. He is fantastic when Mandy Rose comes out. I love it, love it, love it. But there are just some times that I really just Corey Graves I can take in bits and pieces. You know, he can turn on and off. If you could just turn a dimmer switch on that Heenan like stuff, and not just be at a hard on and off switch.
He'll again, nothing against Graves, but you're comparing Graves to probably one of the best heels in the business ever.
I know, and I don't mean to, but he's trying his damnedest to do it.
I know, but he'll never get it. I mean, Heenan with Mean Gene was pure comedy.
Oh God, I will watch anything with Heenan and Monsoon. Period.
Heenan and Monsoon.
Heenan and Monsoon. I will watch anything. I will watch them. I will watch Monsoon read a phone book and Heenan comment about it. I will anything that they do. I'll watch. Okay, and don't get me started on NXT. I don't want to get into that. Oh,
no.
God, no.
The Mamma Mia? No, I'm good, thank you.
No, I can't get into that. I can't get into Morrow drowning everybody out.
No.
Period.
Sometimes less is more. Sometimes if there's a big impact move and the crowd's going crazy, sometimes it's best to keep your mouth shut and the audience does the talking for you.
Yeah.
But instead you get Mamma Mia, oh my God, Mamma Mia.
And I know that everyone in the chat room is referencing Monsoon when they're saying it, but I'm actually going to take it literally because Daniel and Ryan just told me, will you stop it? So, okay, so I'm going to take that literally, and we do need to stop.
one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
If I'm the only one that realized this, probably because I'm recapping, I have to type it a lot.
Yeah.
Are the double knees to the head, are they the new suicide dive? Because every match has it we see that move 5 times in every match now tonight.
I'm almost bringing it as the new sling blade, but only Fonz Balor and Seth Rollins did that. It's almost as bad as the super kicks. Everyone does a super kick now. The double knees, I think, is a lazy. You know what?
Sorry.
Yeah, the Meteora, whatever the fuck. I'm going to call it.
No, I see Meteora because Quentin called it the Meteora, and it is the Meteora, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? No. You can call it Meteora. Others can call it double knees. I'm going to call it the lazy fucks crossbody. Okay? Because an actual athlete would do a crossbody. Okay? Or an actual athlete would do something diving, like a drop kick or a clothesline or something like that. But to me, just leaping off a turnbuckle and just flexing your legs back, I can do that. Anyone can do that. Come on. Shift your body weight a little bit. Do a flip. I'm asking you to do a flip. Can you believe that? Angry old white guy asking someone to do a flip. Do a flip, okay? Do something. Don't just, here I come, dive my knees down. Anyone can do that. Lazy fuck crossbody is what it is.
There you go. I like that.
And everyone does it. You're absolutely right. Everyone does it. Everyone.
It was the amount of times I wrote double knees or double knees to the head or whatever tonight. I'm like, what the fuck?
I think you need to do, every time you do it, kind of do it in all caps so that everyone realizes how much you're doing it.
All caps, italic, bold.
Yes. Double all caps, or even a different font. Like do it in Courier. Do it in Courier New.
Comic sense.
Oh yes. But I mean, just make it as obnoxious as it can look. Okay, a move that happens all the time. Every super kick, do that. Yeah, bold, italics, underlined.
That's that. You know what? That's a new drinking game for you.
It is.
Yeah. Every time someone does a double knees, take a shot.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Speaking of shots, now that we're going to get off the show and really put me to sleep. We could only ride this wave for so long of this being a great year, of me making great decisions. And, we went and absolutely uncalled for 4-3 on the 7-match card. This was horrible compared to my 6-1 and 5-1 from previous pay-per-views. 4-3. 2 of those losses were locks, which means next week 2 shots of tequila are going down. I thought Carrillo was going to be our new United States champion.
No.
I at first had Miz and Morrison winning their tag team elimination chamber match, but then I thought things. I drank too much, and thusly thought that Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler were going to become the new SmackDown tag team champions. Yeah. So,
I could see how you thought Ziggler and Rude would win. Maybe in terms of it would create a tag team match versus Heavy Machinery for WrestleMania. I'll give you that.
Yeah, the only thing I'm getting is a shot of tequila is what I'm getting here. So, yeah, I can try to paint as rosy of a picture as I want, but I just need to tell myself that, Doug, you just go with... Yes, Daniel gave me the best advice I could ever think of. Never think. Yeah, Doug, never think.
True.
Don't think.
That's true.
Just go with your gut. Just go with your gut.
Exactly.
Yeah. Titles never change. Dolph.
Except for the Intercontinental.
Well, except for the Intercontinental title. Yeah, you're right.
But no one really cares about that.
And that was our other loss, too. I had Braun winning that match. So, once again, just tune in. Tune in next week to Wrestleview Weekly, where, once again, I verify that I don't know shit about professional wrestling.
That'll put some butts in the seats.
Oh, it always does. You kidding me? Everyone here in the chat room does.
Who said it? Was that Tony Schiavone that said that?
Yeah, Tony Schiavone said that. Yeah, that'll put some butts in the seats. Mick Foley won the WWE title.
It did put some butts in the seats.
It did put butts in the seats. Yeah, you mentioned it. You never mention your competitor. And I will give AEW that. They have not mentioned those 3 letters on their show.
Yet.
So
you know it's coming.
It is coming. For damn sure it's coming. For how long we are getting Cody every single show, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Sooner or later. Let's get the heck out of here, Roy.
All right, yes.
Yeah.
We got to go.
Yeah, we got to go. Roy, you recap SmackDown every Friday when you are able to, and I will give you that right now. You are able to every Friday.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
I cover SmackDown.
Yes. What else do you do?
Yes. I cover SmackDown. I'll try and post, news on Wrestleview if there's something. Other than that, I'm mostly soccer.
Yes.
Like, if you follow me on Twitter at Roy Nemer, it's soccer, Argentine soccer, South American soccer. It's pretty boring if you don't like soccer. But yeah, no, it's what I do. I do that. I listen to you guys, so I don't know if you know this, probably not because I never really mentioned it, but I'll download your show and the Raw review with Mike and Victoria.
Oh, thank you.
I'll download it on Spotify and I listen to it on my way to work and on my way back to work. So assuming yours is up tomorrow for Spotify, I'll listen to that Monday or Tuesday morning on the way to work, and then whenever that's done, I listen to the Raw one. So I have to say thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
One thing I do want to say, and I'm going on record saying this, I will literally pay. I'm not gonna say whatever amount, but a decent amount if we could get you to recap AEW for a good month.
Oh boy. We're talking for the website, right?
Of course, for the website.
Okay, yeah, typing the words and the
Typing,
thing.
yes. Not recapping on not.
Oh
not
yeah,
on Sunday,
oh yeah, because I mean,
Wednesday.
I can numb myself and talk about it on Wrestleview Weekly. That's not a problem. I can definitely do that. But you're asking me to watch AEW sober. Oh boy.
Yeah, on Wednesdays, typing words on the keyboard and not talking on Sundays.
Oh boy. Ooh.
Yeah, Xantrix. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing
Yeah,
that,
Xantrix,
said,
a month.
"Don't do it."
He said, "A month, I'll die. Please don't do this to our Doug." Oh, thank you, Xantrix. You care so much about me.
Or how about this? 2 shows in March, one of which has to be War Games.
Oh Christ! Now, first off, you are asking me to take the position giving Josh Boutwell a break from doing it for a month.
Right.
He does a pretty decent job.
He does.
For someone who likes that.
He does.
And that's
I agree.
and that's fabulous. You know, I dare not take something away from some. You know, I dare not say fuck your shit. Fun things are fun. You know, I'm not the one on the opposite end of that. Okay. Xantrix put it quite bluntly. Okay, people love me right now. Okay, I have a feeling that if I covered AEW for a month, I would devolve. I would become a creature that not a lot of people would like. You know, I would be angry with professional wrestling. I don't want to be angry with professional wrestling. Though, granted, every week that means I get to watch Orange Cassidy. And Orange Cassidy is fun. Okay? Orange Cassidy is a reason to watch AEW. But could I do it every week? Probably not.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Look, I just put it out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's free entertainment for everyone. But yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Honestly, I don't. Not that I wouldn't. Obviously, if something happens, I have to cover it for sure. I'll cover it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's not my go-to show to cover. Too many flips, too many spins, too many. No, not for me.
Well, I'll go ahead and say the times that I've covered NXT on Wednesdays, it's usually been because either Mike has something with the family that comes up, or something's come up with Josh. And so I come in, the flare goes up in the air, and in I come. And it's usually I cover NXT and whoever else.
In my defense, I cannot cover NXT because it's only aired in Canada on Friday.
Oh,
before
okay.
SmackDown.
Well, I mean, that's no problem. I mean, I got no problem covering NXT on the Wednesdays. That's not a problem. I don't have a problem covering SmackDown on Fridays. It's not a problem. I could cover Monday Night Raw if I wanted to, but I think that's to Tedesco's babies right
That's
there.
in good hands.
So, yeah, that's in very good hands. I can't touch that, making life. So, there you go. That's going to do it. I said it before, but I'm going to say it again. That's going to do it for this long-winded and very well-conversed Elimination Chamber recap. Thank you all for showing up in the chat room live. If you are listening to this and you weren't in the chat room live, you can do that by being in the YouTube chat room for Wrestleview on Monday nights with Mike and Victoria Tedesco when they cover Monday Night Raw immediately following that. You can also be in the chat room every Sunday about 4 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. That's when I am going to be taking my 2 shots of tequila for the horrible decisions that I make in my life, and we are going to finally talk about NWA Power. I have binged 7 episodes of this show. Okay? I cannot wait to finally talk about this show to help you guys. If you're thinking about watching the show, I'm going to fill you in on what's been going on. Believe me, you will not be let down. Okay? Treat NWA as a primer for when Southpaw Regional Wrestling Season 3 comes out this summer. Let's go ahead and put it that way. Okay? All right. Thank you all so much for showing up. Roy, say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, everyone. Bye, Lewis. Xantrix, Daniel. I can't read anymore. Ashley is my name, UK. Everyone else, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening to the show. And just thank you in general. Honestly, it's been a blast.
Yes. Everything that Roy said, I will not say again because that sounds pointless. No, but I'll at least say this. I'll at least say this. Thank you all for showing up, subscribe, and all of that other good stuff. And as always, know when you're being sold to.